And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Episode 306 as I finish this text. Here we go. All right, I finished it. I didn't finish the text. I also need to finish that text. I'm like thinking about it as I'm like finishing it in my head. What's been going on? What's going on? We have beautiful Thursday, the day I'm supposed to be recording this show. I'm trying to find a fifth story, as I typically love a good set of 5 stories to talk about. But now we're at a point, a week, days before there's some type of holiday weekend, typically known as Labor Day, where I will not be doing anything, and neither will people. Any Hoosers, and I posted. Quite frankly, I posted a joke on Instagram that took 4 stories to get across, and no one is it's got perfect escalation, and everyone's taking it so seriously. I'm like, guys, come on. It's all kidding time. Kidding Time is the sequel to Winning Time, but it's about youth basketball in Beverly Hills. It came together. Anyway, what's been going on? I did not see a movie this week, so I have no movies to talk about. In fact, I was going to go see, God, what is that movie called? I'm now on Atom Tickets, if you want to follow my train of thought at this point, where they are showing a big advertisement for the show, for the movie Reagan. You know, I call movies shows. You guys want to go to the theater tonight? Oh, we're going to go to Fox Theater? No, we're going to go to AMC. Blink Twice was the movie I was going to see on Tuesday, and then I backed out because I don't care enough to see that movie. Directed by Zoe Kravitz, starring Channing Tatum, her current beau. I say current because who knows if they're going to be together. Haley Joel Osment's in there, Christian Slater, Alia Shawkat, Kyle MacLachlan, and several other, Naomi Ackie, and several other people I do not know. You know, the only thing I know about that movie is that Zoe wanted to call, and this is not that kind of show. It's not a dirty show, but Zoe Kravitz wanted to call that movie Pussy Island, and I think she said something along the lines of like, the world's not ready for a movie title like that, so we had to change it. I'm like, no, honey, nobody wants to see that. Not unless I'm on some adults only website. I'd rather go if the movie like that came out, I would rather go see It Ends With Us, and I could care less about Blake Lively being a human being. You know, there was Barbenheimer last summer. Do you think people did Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool Ends With Us Benheimer? If you can't make yourself laugh. I've also been knocking out TV shows and movies on the old watch list, left and right. Stuff that's been canceled. Oh, I also purchased Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is one of my favorite shows. And I love that show so much. It's about to leave Netflix, and I was in the middle of a rewatch, and thankfully it went on sale. It didn't go on sale for its low. The low was $20. It went on sale for $25. And then this is so boring. I spent a week, I'm not kidding, a week going back and forth between Fandango at Home, formerly known as Vudu, and iTunes, trying to decide where to buy it. The reason being is because on iTunes, it comes with all the music videos. However, you can watch all the music videos on Rachel Bloom, the creator of Crazy Ex-Girlfriends, YouTube channel, as well as the documentary, the 43-minute documentary, chronicling the end of the show. You don't get all that on Vudu. You don't get the documentary on iTunes or Apple TV, excuse me. I ended up choosing Vudu, Fandango at home. Who cares? Vudu. I ended up choosing Vudu because I wanted to. There's no Apple TV app for Android phones just yet, and I don't want to spend it. Like if I'm watching Crazy, let's just pretend I'm traveling. If I'm watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, I want to be able to access it from everywhere: phone, iPad, laptop, whatever. That's the end of that sentence. Also, I started playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I believe that's the title of the game. It is on Game Pass. I am a subscriber to Game Pass. I have too many subscriptions. I understand that. It is on Game Pass, and I'm using it to get easy achievements so I can earn daily points and everything on Microsoft Rewards so that I can in turn spend that on Game Pass. The thing is, all of the achievements for that game are not based in on like easy. They're not easy to get. They're mostly story based. I tried playing the first one, Star Wars Jedi. I don't know what that one's called. Jedi Survivor is the second one. And the first one, anyway, they're both not roguelike, excuse me. They're both Dark Souls-esque, Souls-like games. And I'm not a fan of Dark Souls. I'm not a fan of Elden Ring. I don't think they're fun. I don't think a game should be hard for you to have fun. And I love that people enjoy games like that and Ninja Gaiden, but I'm just not interested. I want to play, especially if it's a Star Wars game. I'm not even a big fan of Star Wars. I just like Clone Wars, and I like what's the show I watched that I liked? The Bad Batch. I was gonna say Bad Baby, which is a spinoff to Boss Baby. It's not, but it's up there. You go, DreamWorks or Universal, whichever one owns. Maybe the same company. Illumination, or as the Minions call it, Illumination. I want to go to the pool. I just want to go to the pool, and then I want to do yoga, and then I want to come back upstairs. That's it. That's all I want to do. So I'm trying to rush through this. Anyway, Star Wars Jedi, and so they both. If you don't know what Dark Souls is and Elden Ring is, they're these big open world but they're big games, very slow and very plotting, and they're very hard. They're RPGs, and you build your character. And you fight through rooms and dungeons and all this stuff, and it's hard and it takes time. And if you're good at it, you're good at it. If you're not, you're not. And I just don't have the patience for that. And then in Jedi Survivor and the Star Wars Jedi games, you fight like that. You're slow. You gotta back up your old lightsaber. Someone's blasting at you. You gotta press the block button, parry or whatever. It's all. But anyway, the second game is a lot easier than the first one. And the map sucks. Oh my gosh. It's one of those maps that's isometric 3D, and you have to go through levels of stuff. Just give me a map. Ugh. That if I could change one thing about that game, it's the friggin' map. And then there's no the objectives are so obtuse. Maybe I'm stupid, but the objectives are just like go to room, and then you have to find a way to the room, and you can't see it, and you don't know where to go, and sometimes you don't know when to climb, and if you go to a meditation point, then you can't, like, all the enemies respawn. I'm not a fan of that. Also, again, I have not seen everything in Star Wars because I don't really care, and B, I think the fans are very racist. Look at how they reacted to Acolyte. You can say if a show is good or bad or whatever, but some of the things that those Star Wars fans say about some of the people of color or the women in that series of Star Wars things. Any Hoosers, but as a 10%, as a marginal fan of Star Wars, I watched Clone Wars. I watched The Bad Batch. I'm currently watching Resistance, which is that's a children's show. Oh, God, I watched another one. Oh man, I can't remember it. Star Wars Resistance. Is that the one I like? No. The show that came before Resistance. What show is that? Where's Wikipedia? Just show me Wikipedia. I'm gonna say Wikipedia. It took me to wikipedia.org. What is the show that came before it? This is what happened. What? Stop asking me for money. I will give you money. One day when I'm rich, I'm going to give so much money to Wikipedia so they don't have to ask for money. It's pissing me off. All right. I'm just going to go from Dave Filoni, Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, animation credits. Let's see. Star Wars Resistance, Star Wars The Bad Batch. What's the one starring Ezra? Rebels. I liked Rebels too. Star Wars Rebels. So I'm watching Resistance, which is the sequel to Rebels, I guess, kind of. I don't know. Anyway, it's really childish. But so many, if you're just a fan of the movies, things happen in those shows that change the entire story of the mainline films. And I'm somebody I've only seen like 4 or 5 Star Wars movies. There's 9, right? Yeah, there's like 11. I don't know. But I've only seen like 4 or 5. And even still, I can go to Wikipedia and I can go, oh, Darth Maul was killed in Star Wars Rebels, ending, 2 movies of Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I could not know what his name is. Obi-Wan Kenobi, like hiding from him or whatever he was doing. That's insane. Or like in Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Star Wars Rebels, these things or people, I guess, called Inquisitors being killed. I don't know if that's a movie thing. But from what I get, or Ninth Sisters or whatever, sisters, I don't know. I don't know these things. This is why I don't pay attention. Let's move on to my first story. I'm done talking about this because I just don't know what's going on in Star Wars. Sometimes they say things, and then I'll go, what does that mean? And I'll go to Wikipedia, and I've missed like 7 minutes of the show. I know Darth Vader. I know incest from Luke and Leia. I know Chewbacca. And Jedi Survivor, I was trying to find my ship at the beginning of the game. I was trying to find my ship, and these little things came running out of the wall. They're called Jawas. I was like, what the heck is a Jawa? Are they not Ewoks with little hoods on? And if Chewbacca's a Wookiee, what's an Ewok? I don't know. I don't care to know. 13 minutes. All right. This comes from Gene Mattis and Katzy Steffen. Over at Variety, Megalopolis trailers fake critic quotes were AI generated. Lionsgate drops marketing consultant responsible for snafu. Last week, there was a trailer released that featured more footage from the movie Megalopolis, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. This movie is his current magnum opus. It's this big, sprawling epic that is about time manipulation. Adam Driver stars, and Natalie Emmanuel, and I would say her biggest starring role. There's no movie. She has a movie out on Peacock right now, called The Killer, and I believe it stars the main guy from Lupin, from Netflix's Lupin. I believe that's what the show is called. A show I watched 2 seasons of, and I said I can't wait for season 3, and season 3 came out, and it's been several months, and I just have not started it. I don't have the time. I'm sitting here watching Star Wars Resistance. They put out this trailer, and it had quotes from supposed quotes from supposed reviews from critics, and when those movies came out. So, of all of Francis Ford Coppola's movies like Apocalypse Now, The Godfather, and The Outsiders, movies like that. And all the quotes were like utter trash, for Megalopolis, and they were attributed to real people from real outlets. It turns out none of those were real. They were AI generated. Like here's a fake one from Pauline Kael from the New Yorker, diminished by its artsiness. And Pauline wrote that apparently about The Godfather. It's not true. Lionsgate has parted ways with Eddie Egan, the marketing consultant who came up with the Megalopolis trailer that included fake quotes from famous film critics. What if that is the plan? If you're Lionsgate and you go along with this, first of all, that's stupid. That is the dumbest thing you could possibly say, and possibly do rather. If you go along with this, put up like obviously fake quotes, like truly fake quotes from fake people, or go to oh God, what is the review thing that people use? That review app, Reels. I don't know, that review app that people use that's so popular now. Go to that and find 1-star reviews of those movies, because obviously there are people that dislike those movies. Not obviously, but there are people that dislike those movies. Why would you go along with this AI generated thing when we spent the past year marching against things like this? Sources tell Variety it was not Lionsgate or Egan's intention to fabricate quotes, but was an error in properly vetting and fact-checking the phrases provided by the consultant. The intention of the trailer was to demonstrate that Coppola's revered work, much like Megalopolis, has been met with criticism. Yeah, I think everything is going to be met with criticism. As popular as a Marvel movie is, as big and exciting as a Christopher Nolan movie is going to be, there's always going to be skeptics and outliers and people who don't enjoy it. But that doesn't mean that you could just make up these fake quotes. And if you're trying to pull from something that somebody wrote all those years ago, then pull and don't just pick and choose words. Apparently, Pauline Kael loved the movie. When Variety prompted AI service ChatGPT to provide negative criticism about Coppola's work from well-known reviewers, the responses provided were strikingly similar to the quotes included in the trailer. So, as an outsider, as somebody who's not a part of a trailer house and as a part of a marketing firm, this just looks like they did the bare minimum to make something spicy. I'm guessing. Egan has worked closely with Adam Fogelson, the chair of Lionsgate's film group, for more than 20 years. The two worked together at Universal and later at STX. Egan has been an independent consultant since leaving STX in 2019. I think that was just a stupid idea in the first place. If you're going to follow along with it, just do it the right way. All right, now let's move on. These next 3 stories are going to be about ESPN. Apparently, we're in the middle of Q4 earnings calls and seasons and things like that. This comes from Deadline, written by Dade Hayes. ESPN chairman Jimmy Pietro talks Disney succession, regional sports rights, streaming flagship launch, AI, and more. Jimmy Pitero. I did the same thing last night when I was setting up these stories. Jimmy Pitero, not Pietro. Pietro is the name of Quicksilver. That's it. That's all I know. Jimmy Pitero praised Disney CEO Bob Iger, but said he's not changing his leadership style in a bid to get promoted to Iger's role. Jimmy Pitero is not going to change who he is, just in case Iger is looking at him to run Disney, because Iger does not want to do that continually. This is the ESPN Media Day happened, and this was more of a showcase of what ESPN has coming in the future. This is from Engadget, written by Anna Washenko. ESPN's Where to Watch offers a TV and streaming guide to sports viewing. ESPN updated its app, the website, and you're able to find basically what sports are airing where. The guide is a list of all sporting events happening on a given day, and fittingly, where you can watch them. The resource covers not just ESPN's own channels, but also broadcast, cable, and regional sports networks and streaming services. Now, before I continue with that, I'm jumping to another article, into the final article. Brian Steinberg for Variety writes, ESPN will vie for local sports rights. Patero specifically mentioned that they will be wanting the big, as Steinberg writes here, portfolio of national sports rights. I don't know if that includes Bally Sports, which is huge, considering that you can't watch Bally Sports on things like YouTube TV or Hulu with live TV. You can only watch it on Fubo, I believe. You can't, like, I can't. So Bally Sports is basically the biggest nationwide regional sports company. They own all the broadcasting for, I'll say what I do know: the Atlanta games. Most of the sportcasters broadcast for Atlanta. So it's hard to watch Hawks games here if you have YouTube TV, Braves games here if you have YouTube TV, and just local teams essentially, which are the 2 or 3 local teams, 2 out of 3 local teams. Jimmy Patero, I don't know why there was a long pause there. I guess I was reading. Said the company has suggested to sports leagues and leaders that it could help distribute games to specific markets through its streaming properties. That includes the ESPN app that is set to launch in 2025. And I'm assuming Venu, which is on pause for now, which is set to launch in September. Diamond Sports is one of the newest entities that includes local sports media with regional sports, all that stuff. Has been mired in legal woes and fights with various sports leagues for months. The editor did not catch a mistake in this article. Steinberg wrote ESPB instead of ESPN. I can see on my keyboard the B and the N are right next to each other. Patero said the company would be able to geo-target subscribers to its streaming services and make games available to people in specific markets. That means if you subscribe to that ESPN streaming product, then you'll be able to watch, like in Atlanta specifically, the Hawks are playing at 7:30 on Friday night. Boom, you'll be able to watch it at 7:30 on Friday night, as opposed to somebody in, I don't know, Brooklyn. And the Nets, let's say the Nets are playing OKC, you'll be able to, instead of seeing that Hawks game, you'll be able to see the Nets game on your ESPN streaming platform. This is your ESPN streaming platform. Along with this technology, Patero said it's going to have they're calling it right now, the code name for the app is Flagship. I assume the app is not going to, I mean, if anything, I would just change ESPN Go to that product. I don't know what's going to happen to ESPN Go. I assume it's going to be either sunsetted or it's going to be a light app, in that I subscribe to Hulu and Disney. I subscribe to Disney Bundle. I'm going to get the ESPN, the pre-recorded properties, as opposed to the ESPN full product. I don't know. Who knows? But apparently this new app, the ESPN streaming platform, will have a number of enhanced I'm back on the Deadline article from Dade Hayes. It'll have a number of enhanced features for fantasy sports and betting. Well, that explains why ESPN Plus. ESPN Go. I call it ESPN Go. That's why ESPN Plus is... The forthcoming ESPN service will cost between $11.99 and a full pay TV package, and the company sees, quote, a lot of opportunity in the middle. I'm guessing they're going to aim for $15. At some point, it's going to go up to $20 because it's sports, and sports cost a lot of money, and people will pay for sports. This a la carte sampling of streaming services where you can, yes, you'll end up paying the same as cable, whatever. That's a joke. That's the joke that everybody does. But it really will, make people, it helps people in the long run because you can jump from platform to platform. You don't have to be like me and have everything at once. So if you are a fan of sports, then you can switch over to Fubo TV and you can have all that stuff in ESPN and have ESPN Plus. And then that's and then, you'll have like your other two ones that you like, your Netflix, your Max, your Disney Plus, your Paramount Plus. Although I'm not sure if somebody's out there like, I gotta have Paramount Plus. Ooh, I need Paramount Plus. I love how clunky it is. I love how when I click on the Big Brother live feeds, it just takes so long to load. I love when I'm watching the last season of Evil that it's so dark. My TV just blackens. I love that the Dolby Vision doesn't work. There's times when I would love to switch my subscription from Paramount Plus proper to the Amazon product so I can just get on Amazon Prime. But it's just too much work to do that. The Paramount Plus app stinks. The Peacock app is so bad. I would rather use Paramount Plus every single day than use the Peacock app. Ugh. Okay. Patero said, we very much believe the flagship, the ESPN app, is going to be part of the solution when it comes to Diamond Sports, which is the owner of Bally Sports, which is now basically going into bankruptcy because it's hard to maintain all those sports rights and everything. If you're part of the ESPN environment, we can geo-target you, recognize where you are, and serve you local and market games. Regional sports networks have been in deterioration for the past, as Data Hayes writes here, for the past couple of years. And leagues and teams have been anxious about that, with many of them exploring free over-the-air broadcasts and looking to enhance its streaming offerings. Look at women's basketball, the WNBA. You're able to watch that on Ion. You're able to watch those games also on Max. You're able to watch those games on YouTube TV, on your streaming television platforms. You're able to watch those games for free on Tubi, if that's how you want to get those games. There's multiple ways to get WNBA games. And it seems if I were the NFL, if I were NBA, if I were tennis, if I were golf, I would be looking at these products and going, this is how we can offer things up. Yes, CBS and NBC pay out the butt for golf. Yes, NBC, Disney, and Amazon paid out the butt for NBA. But the streaming platforms, as NBC Universal sees with Peacock, and as Amazon has been doing with Thursday Night Football, you're able to find a way to attract more viewers than ever before. Look at the Olympics. It had the most viewers ever at this point. I assume. I don't know. It had more viewers but the Paris Olympics had more viewers than the Tokyo Olympics. And that's because at the time of the Tokyo Olympics, which is only 4 years ago, people didn't have access to a way to stream it, even though they were dropping off the cable product like flies. So now that we're in this period of streaming sports, now it's time for these companies to start capitalizing on it. ESPN, for what it's worth, has taken forever forever to get to this point of streaming because they had this dedication to the cable product. But now they see that that's a decaying decaying. I'm trying not to use words I've already read and I've already said. Now they see that's a decaying platform. Will this new streaming venture be the thing that is, I don't want to say the nail in the coffin of cable, because I think cable and streaming television now it's nascent brother or sister, it's sibling. I think streaming television is the way to go. I love YouTube TV. It's too expensive. I love YouTube TV. I love Hulu with Live TV. I love Fubo TV, Sling. I think these products can exist outside of world cable. But now, if I'm somebody in middle America where I don't have the best internet and cable is my only option, this is what they have to do. They have to stick with the stream and you only have a certain amount of data to stream with, because that still exists in a lot of plans. Then where does that leave me? Now I'm a coastal elite. In landlocked Atlanta. What are you talking about? There's water all over the place. Okay. However, what in the world? I just got an email that said, whoa, that's crazy. My apartment raised eviction fees. It's insane. Whew. Anyway, but the streaming, there's a lot of ways now to watch sports. I know that, in particular, reading comments online, which is a thing I hate doing, but reading comments online, I see a lot of people steal their sports access. They watch free streams and all that stuff, which I know it's been going on for years and years. I had friends in college doing that. I'm just like, you don't need to watch that game. It's like a choppy, and that was like when I was in college. Like, computers weren't even all that good when you were a freshman or a sophomore in college, and you had the same laptop for 4 years, and everything is still choppy and bad. ESPN should have been. I know they had this dedication, but ESPN should have been the leader, the one to make the jump first. Because I feel as though Fox Sports was ahead of the game when it comes to the local airing of things, because Fox Sports in some places partnered up with Bally in order to get those regional games. I know Fox Sports aired our regional games, and then we lost those. Where does that ESPN product streaming platform fit in? When it launches next year, and where does ESPN Plus go from there? And then is that going to tie in to Disney Plus and Hulu, and that entire Disney bundle? Where are people going to get sick and tired of having to choose? Are people going to gravitate back towards cable, or a cable like product? Are people who were staunchly against Hulu with Live TV and YouTube TV, are they going to look at this and go, this is too much? Let's drop all the streaming platforms, start fresh, and then only choose 3, and one of them has to be TV. I need to watch, OWN and Cartoon Network, because I know that was a big thing for my mom. She was very much like, this is not a story. I've had YouTube TV for years, obviously, and it's like a couple years ago. I think I've told part of the story, but my parents could only get one internet provider up where they live in this country-like area. And I was trying to convince them to, because they were paying so much, because it's the only provider for internet and for TV, or at least that's what that company told them. And I was like, I don't know if that's true. And eventually, I convinced them, and they were forced to get like Dish and like the internet provided by the company. So DirecTV, not Dish. So eventually, I was able to convince them to go to the lowest tier of DirecTV, the lowest possible tier, and then also, well, no, I convinced them to get Hulu with live TV, and then they ended up getting like I guess what they say, a good deal with the internet provider company for the lowest tier of DirecTV and internet. So it was like something like $20 a month. And then they were putting all the rest of that money, the 200 or so they were spending towards Hulu with live TV. And then they were getting the rest of their streaming products from me, which fine, whatever. And the only reason that they even still had TV was because I believe I think YouTube TV has Lifetime and Hulu Live TV has Lifetime, but I believe OWN was not on either one of those products, and my mom likes that at the time because it had like shows and stuff that she watched. It was either OWN or Lifetime. I don't remember which one, but now they're just on streaming. No DirecTV at all, and that took a lot of convincing. All right, I'm done. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can find me talking to your favorite people, your favorite entertainment personalities. You can watch a video version of this show on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can find video versions of the other podcasts. I started the song way too early. LinkedIn Logs, which is the jobs and business podcast, and Late Night Lately, which is the late night show. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at cpluscomedy, and subscribe to this podcast where we get podcasts. Thank you for listening. Me at Chad Black White. Bye.